everybody. Welcome to a pay-per-view review of AEW and New Japan Pro Wrestling, The Forbidden Door 2022. I am your host, Daniel, joined by my two co-hosts,
Berman
and Chris.
Damn, isn't it good to be back? Isn't it good to be back, y'all? So, before we dive in to The Forbidden Door, I want to thank Tony Khan. I want to thank the New Japan Pro Wrestling presidents, and mentioned on the media scrum, a lot of this would not happen without Rocky Romero. So I wanted to thank New Japan Pro Wrestler Rocky Romero for making this crossover possible as much as everybody else. So whether we love the show or not, this was special for the wrestling business, and this was bound to happen, and I'm happy it happened. So, and I also want to thank all the professional wrestlers for being involved in the show, despite the horrible injury season we have suffered through in the past month. So, yeah, man, it's good to be back. It's good to be back. Do you guys have any quick thoughts before we begin?
Nothing. I'm just happy to be back into it and happy to discuss with my two great friends.
That was the sweetest shit you could have ever said.
All right, well, that was oddly wholesome. Appreciate it, Perm. Now, let's dive in to the opener of this show. Team Kingston, which consisted of Eddie Kingston, Wheeler Yuta, and Shuda, versus the team of Chris Jericho, Minoru Suzuki, Sammy Guevara. Now, I just have to say, all six of them got to shine in this match. Kingston and Suzuki had their little chop war, and honestly, I would love to see these two have like some kind of best of seven series. I feel like they would rock a best of seven series in Japan, America, wherever you want to fucking put them. I think a best of seven series between Kingston and Suzuki would be fantastic. And you got Wheeler Yuta beginning the match with a German suplex spree on Chris Jericho, and he has tons of other spots to really shine in. You got Sammy Guevara doing his thing in this match, and you also, got freaking Chris Jericho shining by getting the overall win in this match. But you got Shuda, who's also a premier performer in this match too, man. And honestly, I might go as far as to say Shuda might have been the highlight for me in this match. Almost everything he did in this match was impressive, along with everyone else in this match. All six of them played their role. Even the managers on the outside, like Ty Conti, played their role. So, yeah, I gotta say it. This was a great way to start the pay-per-view. And I kind of slept on this match a little bit. I'm not even going to deny it. But if we're really thinking about it, this is a great match. So, yeah, man, I can't really think of too much wrong with it. And for that reason, I'm going to give this an 8 out of 10.
This is a great match. I was kind of sleeping on it too myself. I was happy with Shooter because I actually watched Shooter versus Jay White match, and that was a great match. I actually loved that match. And this was not, it was no disappointment. It was fun. It was a lot of wrestling, a lot of hard strikes, a lot of fun moves that they did. Shooter definitely, to me, was a big MVP in this match with how he had this. And it was a great storyline, too, because of Shooter, what happened with Jericho and Shooter at New Japan Wrestling like 10 years ago or so. I think that's the timeline. And it was pretty good.
Was, I believe, Wrestle Kingdom in 2019 or 2020, so it would actually be about 2 or 3 years ago. Correct.
Yeah, I over it, but it's okay. But it was a very good timeline that they did that, and I like how they put Shooter in there. And even Wheeler Yuta, who had a great match against Tony Nese, who showed a good match on Dark. It was a great German suplex, free and everything, so I was happy with it.
I did see that match on Dark. It was fire.
Yeah, and I can't wait to see more with Shooter and other people, and this is definitely a good match, so definitely an 8 for me too.
Yeah, and then honestly, both sides shine frequently. They're both great. You gotta appreciate Team Jericho because without Jericho, Team Kingston ain't shit. That is all.
Since when were you a Jericho fan?
Since never. Just kidding. But overall, it was solid. And then with the introduction of remind me, what's his name? From representing
Shuda.
Shuda. Shuda was definitely my favorite between these two teams or whatever. Because quite
Yeah.
frankly, Shuda was just like athletic. He got the acrobatics and all other good crap. So
Okay.
but keep it simple. It's game 8. I don't have any much complaints, but there are some matches in this list that we probably get into soon enough. So,
All right. So
Mr.
we're all
Daniel,
agreeing on an 8 out of 10.
see.
All right. Cool. Cool to see. All right. So now we talk about this next match. It is going to be a winner take all match for the Ring of Honor and IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Championships. So, yeah, 2 championships on the line. FTR, who are the ROH champs, Jeff Cobb and Grado Khan, who gets contextual sex, by the way, are the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Champions, and challengers for the ROH tag titles were Roppongi Vice. But when FTR and Roppongi Vice fought on Dynamite in May, Jeff Cobb and Grado Khan, who are a part of the United Empire, Will Ospreay's group, got involved. And they were hungry for the ROH tag titles, but they also had something FTR wanted, which was the IWGP Heavyweight Tag titles. So it all made sense to do a winner-take-all match here. And I must say, they played a story here about Dax Harwood getting hurt, then Cash having to do the 1-on-4, kind of looking like the underdog face in this situation here. And, he did for a little while, but then you had Dax come out. Overall, it was predictable, but nothing really wrong with that. It was a good match. It could have potentially been better if I am being quite honest. But, yeah, I gotta say that I enjoyed the match for what it was. Again, it could have been better, but I can't really complain too much. It definitely was not a bad match. I just wouldn't really highly recommend anyone to go out of their way to go see it. So, congratulations to FTR winning, the IWGP Heavyweight Tag titles, being triple champions because of the AAA team championships as well. So that's really cool. And hopefully they're able to win the AEW tag titles, have 4 belts, basically be the Kenny Omegas of the tag team division, or the Kurt Angles of the tag team division, if you know what I'm saying. That'd be very cool in my opinion. So, yeah, congrats to FTR, man. This was an enjoyable match for what it was. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10 and pass it on to my co-host.
All right. This match was pretty good. I was kind of anticipated this match to see who would do it. It was pretty interesting how they did that. Dax got injured. He walked out. So there's like a one partner and 2 full tag teams. So it was really interesting to me. And I was like, ooh, I wonder if actually someone else is going to be winning this match. So I was actually really loving how Roppongi Vice pretty much went ham, went ham, trying to get these matches, went uses the strong zero, and it was really good how they did this stuff. And I really loved how they did it. It was kind of off at the ending of the match when I saw Rocky Romero was getting hyped, then got hit by the big rig. I'm like, all right, that's a little bit turn off out there. But it was still a great match. I think it was a great tag team match. So I'll probably give this a 7.5 for me.
And then I don't know about you guys, but did you two get concerned when Dax Harwood pretty much almost got severely injured and they took him out of this match and I'm just like, no, they're
I was
about
pretty concerned,
Yeah,
but
me too.
I must say one thing. I think we all are really sleeping on one detail here, and that's the selling from Dax Harwood. If he is not actually injured, and if he was selling in this match, which, based off of Blood and Guts, I think it's easy to say that he was. Yeah, the selling is honestly second to none. He may very well have one of the best abilities to sell moves in the business right now. Just absolutely incredible. And again, if you don't have Dax Harwood in your top 10 wrestlers of 2022, I don't really want to talk to you about wrestling, if I'm being very honest. Dax is just absolutely killing it this year. His dedication, character work, and to the match consistency is really second to none right now, maybe with the exceptions of names like John Moxley and Will Ospreay.
But yeah, but I'm glad he wasn't too injured, and I don't know if that's like it was unintentional to like the little throwback moment with Daniel Bryan's back on WrestleMania, or it was actually like a serious injury. But Cash Wheeler managed to hold off on their own, and there were a bit spots where it was kind of weird. Like both teams kind of like fell off because I guess they're like, oh shit, like where's the real guy? He's dead. But for that, they make it up. There's many good spots. It's not my favorite match on the card, but Danny, you know what's the most important thing we should know?
What would that be?
What does Great O'Khan say on Twitter?
That he gets consensual sex, ladies and gentlemen, and that is very rare these days in America, especially in America. Consensual sex, ladies and gentlemen. Think about it. It's very important.
So just for that, it's getting a 7 out of 10. On to the
All right.
best match.
All right. I'm glad that we agree on our rating 7 out of 10. If you give Great O'Khan anything less than a 7 out of 10, I am a strong believer that you don't believe in consensual sex, ladies and gentlemen. So now we move on to the All Elite Wrestling All Atlantic Championship Fatal 4-Way match featuring Bulgarian Miro, Pac from wherever the fuck he's from, Malachi Black from the Netherlands,
UK.
and the UK.
It's okay, just
Messed up too bad.
continue.
Malachi Black from the Netherlands or New Zealand, one of those two countries. Then we got Clark Connors. I don't even care where he's from because he's the least relevant member of this match. But he did good. He did good, ladies and gentlemen. I must say, what a banger, bro. What a fucking banger. Like, all four of them went off, honestly. Oh, man. I thought a burp was really coming out. I mean, a burp did come out. Okay, anyways, let me get back to the point.
I'm gonna give you a big old pat on the back.
This match was fantastic. And when I say fantastic, I mean it was, in comparison to the other Fatal 4-Way match, it was fantastic. It was a great match. No, seriously, it was a great match. All four of them really got to showcase themselves. Even Clark Connors, who had to replace Tomohiro. Oh, I know I just butchered the shit out of that. Yeah. Berman said it best. He had to replace him, the Stone Pitbull, but he did what he had to do, ladies and gentlemen. And he did his job. And thanks to him doing his job, they were able to put on a great Fatal 4-Way. Miro got to shine as well. Malachi really got to shine as well. But in the end, when it looked like Malachi was going to win, Pac surprised the world and became the first ever All-Atlantic champion. I'm excited to see where this run goes from here. And I got to say, there was a lot of great spots, a lot of high spots. Is this a match of the year candidate by any means? No, it's not. But I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10. Go out of your way to see this if you got time. It is very fun.
Yeah, me too. I love this match. I was kind of pissed off because of Clark Connors getting that spot because one, he's American. He's not around the sides of the around Europe.
Yep, very true. Very true.
So it got me pissed off. I'm like, you couldn't get anyone else. Like Tomohiro Ishii, probably one of my favorites, probably top 5 in New Japan for me.
But he got injured, unfortunately. Yeah.
Yeah, it sucks. Like, you could not put anyone else than him. Well, I'm American, no Japanese guy. Like, it's just made me mad. But
Yosuke would have been cool.
yeah, but hey, at least it actually delivered as a great match. I was expecting maybe some bad stuff, but actually, it was probably one of the funnest matches to watch. I love the Miro. I love Pac, and Clark Connors did a great job trying to do a lot of stuff, and I think he did a pretty great job, man. And I can't wait to see if maybe he does a lot more in the company. And Malachi Black was another one. I loved how his knees kicks were like so brutal, and I just love. Sometimes I love that. But Malachi Black and Pac could have worked together, but nope, they didn't. They just said no because we hate each other. We're gonna still keep on fighting and fighting against each other, not Miro. So it's kind of funny that part. But I love this match, and I definitely gotta give this an 8.5.
Right, 2 8.5 out of 10s. Would you agree, Chris, or do you got a different opinion?
No, I completely agree. And I just want to give a big shout out to Miro because god damn it, dude. The best champion, or should I say God's champion, he was destroying everybody in this match, dude. Miro was killing it. And
Yeah, he did.
and for a hot second I thought he was gonna win the All Atlantic Championship match. But then, Malachi had to become a fucking dinosaur and spit acid in his face, which cost Miro the loss. And then from
It
there,
became,
what's up?
it became a Dilophosaur.
Exactly. And then after that, I guess I should give mention to Clark Connors. I don't know this dude very well, but obviously he wasn't the crowd's favorite, and he tried his hardest. So I'll give him props for like doing a little cool things here and there. But honestly, if he was not included in this match at all, it would have been fine, and it probably would have just been better as a trios match. But other than that, Pac was killing it, and then Pac and Malachi Black going at it was insane. There was spears, tables. It was just an instant classic. So 8.5. Go.
Okay, there we go. Sorry, I had soju going through my system there.
It's okay.
So, wow, ladies and gentlemen, pretty good show so far. Now, I'm pretty sure there's going to be a difference of opinion on this next match. If y'all want to hear positivity, I'm letting Chris take it away first. 6-man tag, Young Bucks and El Phantasmo representing the Bullet Club, going up against Darby Allin, Sting, and Shingo Takagi. And my review isn't going to be as positive, probably. So that's why I'm letting Chris speak first. So, Chris, take it away.
Daniel, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not just a Young Bucks fan. I'm a goddamn wrestling fan. Because this match was so stupid. It was the greatest thing I've ever witnessed in my life. The Young Bucks were flossing. 10 out of 10. The purple nurples. The taunting. This match is a comedy classic.
Yeah.
And if you can't appreciate comedy matches, don't come at me with you being a wrestling fan, because wrestling is about this kind of shit. Goofiness. 7 out of 10.
All right. Now listen here. Before we pass on to Berman, I just gotta say why I personally did not like this match. So, the 30-second cartwheel, right? If we're thinking about it from a logical standpoint, you are not hitting any offense on your opponent. All you are really doing is wearing yourself out and tiring yourself. If we're thinking about it from a logical standpoint, what the flying fuck are you doing in combat? That is my sincere question here. Like, sure, you can do all you want to piss off the marks, but if you're thinking about it from a sincere fight standpoint, dear fucking God, they all look like fucking buffoons. And I mean, El Phantasmo, right? He fit right the fuck. What a fucking goon. Jesus fucking Christ. This match, honestly, made me cringe, and this was the ultimate reminder as to why I'm not ever going to probably be a Young Bucks fan. And honestly, I just felt very irritated by most of the things they did in this match. Like, again, this feels like one of those matches that just feels like, the Young Bucks are stroking their own ego just for the sake of, internet fans not accepting them. And they shouldn't, because I personally don't think the Young Bucks are the greatest tag team today. The greatest tag team today are FTR. And FTR had a better match on Forbidden Door. And they have a better match every single time these two are on the same card. So I'm just going to say this. If these two meet again and the Young Bucks win, that will be the worst AEW booking decision of all time. Personally, I felt like my time and money was kind of being wasted while watching this shit. Sure, comedy match is fine here and there, but really, this was the kind of comedy match that felt like, haha, fuck you, we just took your $50 fucking dollars, goodbye. So, yeah, I will say there are some cool and funny things here and there, like Sting eating the double super kick, basically no selling that shit. That was kind of really cool, and then leading into like a triple super kick, that was kind of cool. I'll give them credit. And Darby was able to look like a daredevil. Shingo got the shine here and there. And Sting gained his revenge with the purple nurples, even though it was kind of dumb. It is kind of funny at the same time. So, with all this being said, it's okay. It exists. It is what it is. It's not my style of wrestling. It never will be. It's fucking dumb. But I guess for some, it can be appreciated. I'm giving this 5.5 out of 10. So, Berman, take it away.
Yeah, I understand what you're going by, but first thing first, I kind of got pissed off because Hiromu Takahashi was not going to be there. I wanted to see him more than ever because he's one of my top 5 again favorites in
He
New
had
Japan.
a cold, actually, which is the
It
reason
kinda
why
sucked.
he was out.
Yeah, so it really sucked that I didn't see him. So that was what I got pissed off. But actually, if you don't see El Phantasmo, he does this thing on a daily basis. This kind of like taunting thing, these back flips, these back scratches, and the purple nurple. He loves doing that. He did that the whole entire New Japan Junior, Super Junior. He did that the whole entire time. It was funny. I love El Phantasmo in general.
I'm going to be personally honest. I probably hated him the most out of the 3. Unbelievably, I think I hated him more than the Young Bucks.
That's his point. His point of the character to him is being hated so much but you should give him a lot of respect too because he has some great matches. And this match was not the best match for him. It was great showing of El Phantasmo. And same with Sting, Darby Allin, and Shingo. I do love these 3. It's fun. And I'm hoping they do something better. And whenever they do maybe Forbidden Door 2, if it ever happens again, they kind of need to change something about this. But for me, I'm gonna give this 6 just because I kind of loved how fun it was.
All right, you know what? I can respect your opinion and take. And again, I'm aware like this can definitely appeal to some crowds. I'm just not one of those people. Like it is what it is at this point. I need to accept it.
It's understandable. I can
I just
completely understand that.
for someone who grew up with a completely different style or take on wrestling, it just feels it's just something I'm never going to really get. You know.
But Daniel, Sting got super kicked. That was funny as fuck.
Again, there were some really great, cool spots in this match. Like this match exists. That's all I can really say about it. This match exists.
It was like
Now,
Fortnite.
this next match also exists. It's not a bad match, but it's not that good. AEW Women's Championship match: Thunder Rosa versus Toni Storm. This is probably the weakest match in the card for me. There are some cool spots on here again. It's not a bad match, but it's not a match I would exactly want to go back to and rewatch. I did, but I felt the same way I did on the first watch. So, with that being said, there's some cool, spots for Tony, cool spots for Thunder, but in the end, the two didn't really have the chemistry that I really expected them to have. They both kind of seemed like they were going through the motions here and there. Thunder Rosa retained. They had a little handshake after. It was what it was. It kind of seemed like Thunder Rosa was teasing a bit of, which honestly, Thunder Rosa as a heel kind of seems interesting. And I would like to see how that would work in the future. But yeah, besides all of that, I'm going to give this match a 4.5 out of 10. The weakest match on the card for me. And again, I hate saying it because I expected a great match out of these two, but I just didn't really feel like I got that here. And maybe it's too early for Toni Storm to win the title, considering she's only been in here for 3 months. So you know what? Maybe it's best to hold it off, and it's fair. So once we'll get that moment, it'll be worth it. That's all I can really say. I'm going to let my two co-hosts discuss this match now.
Yeah, I think it's completely understandable. This is to me the weakest match. I just never, it never, yes, I knew it was probably going to be a great match, but this whole match, when I watched it, so underwhelming. It just didn't feel like live up to the expectations of these two great wrestlers going at it. It was just so underwhelming how they finished it with the final reckoning from Dustin Rhodes. It's just weird why it makes sense. but like I don't think it was, even if that was a poorly placed move. She didn't even hit it that perfectly, and completely honest. So it was underwhelming. I kind of wish they would do Thunder Rosa versus someone from the Starcade roster, like other than Tony, like someone from like Japan from the Starcade. Like I don't know who, I can't. I don't watch that very often, but like someone from there would have been so much better against Thunder Rosa, like for like Japan version wise. But don't get me wrong, it's understandable why they these two. It was not that bad a match, but it was still kind of weak. I would give it a little bit, probably the same as you, but just out of respect for these two, I'm gonna give it a 5.
A 5? Damn, Aaron. That's very respectable. I can respect it. But not for real. Uh, I don't mean to sound sexist or anything, dude. But I'm not trying to. And don't get me wrong, women wrestling's great and all. But this match ain't it. Like, the whole idea of Tony Storm versus Rosa should have been like a banger from the start. Wouldn't you guys agree?
Yes, 100%.
So, for instance, like it was like you said, it was very underwhelming. There was like maybe 2 or 3 cool spots, and then Rosa becoming a heel, kinda. It was just like this match did not need to belong in here. I'm sorry, this should have been like on a Rampage episode or something. Because if we're gonna like put the women's champion, at least like give it the time. So I don't know if it's just on them two or like the lack of time or something. But there was like no chemistry between either Rosa and Tony, and it was a real shame. So for that reason, it's gonna get a 3. Weak.
All right, you know what? I can respect that. Now this next match. Oh my gosh! Now on the first watch, I'm not gonna lie, I felt like everyone around me kind of slept on it, and I will say it again. I watched it on second watch, and I believe the same thing. It did not even start off slow. Start off very action packed, and it had the comedic sequences in the first half, while in the second half was the high action packed sequences. So I will say this: I think these two went out there and had an amazing, amazing match. Was this Orange Cassidy's best match ever? No. I think his best match is still with Pac and Kenny Omega. But man, this can easily be a top 3 best Orange Cassidy match so far. This is amazing. And yeah, both Will Ospreay and Orange Cassidy went off to make each other look like stars. And man, I think my best wrestler of the year so far would probably have to be Will Ospreay in 2022. Almost every single match he's had has just been absolutely amazing or great. And this match is no different. This may be one of my favorite matches of the year. Now, this isn't the best match of the year by any means, but when you think about top 25, top 50, you could probably throw that kind of match in there. This was just excellent from start to finish, from the character work to the spots to the, will to win from both Will Ospreay and Orange Cassidy. And, the cool little spots you had involving Aussie Open. And just in general, this worked. This worked from start to finish. And both of them were able to get themselves over with the crowd, with the people at home, with the commentary team. It just flowed from start to finish. 16 minutes of a fucking amazing, excellent match. So I'm going to give this match a 9 out of 10. And what we got afterwards was Shibata or Shibata coming out, teasing a future match with Will Ospreay. And I must say, man, oh man, that excites me too. So this would be the best match of the night on most wrestling shows, but not on this one. So 9 out of 10 again. Now I'm going to pass it on to my 2 co-hosts.
Yeah, this was a great match. I was, to me, be kind of fairly honest, I was never a fan that much of Orange Cassidy. I felt like he was just Joker sometimes. And yeah, I changed my opinion when I was watching Kenny Omega and Pac match, but I still had the opinion that he was kind of like a Joker sometimes. But this match changed my whole entire opinion, completely changed him as this great wrestler, and he just showed how good he is and how like he can psych people out. It just makes me laugh every time I watch him. Same with Will Ospreay. I just love watching him. He's just one of the best wrestlers of all time. To see him, and he just looks so good as this great champion. And I can't say enough about Will Ospreay, but this match was great. All these high impact moves, these quick actions, just all these hands in the pocket, all these type of moves. Like, it was so interesting to see. It was quick. You can honestly see. You could have seen Orange Cassidy winning the match from a lot of perspectives. It was just so great to see it, and I love seeing that Shibata come in. It was just so good to see him back, and it was great to see him. Maybe it goes against Will Ospreay. Probably same with Juice Robinson that they reference in there too. Now I can't wait to see this, and to me, I'm gonna give this actually a 9.5 for me because I just loved the match.
9.5. Well. So, Chris, are you the dark horse in this one, or would you agree with a 9 or 9.5?
I'm going to agree, but I'm going to dock this match by like 1 point. Just one. It's just the fact that I felt personally like this match didn't need to be this slow. I mean, half of it, I understand it's more character building between Will
I think it was
Ospreay.
more of just wearing off ice in us. Just rewatch the match. It wasn't as slow as we remember.
From what I saw, like I'm not saying the whole thing was slow, but there were some like segments. Like I get it, Will's a bad guy. He's making fun of our boy. He's putting his hands in his pocket. But once you get past that, the amount of fucking counters that Orange Cassidy did and Will Ospreay did too, and not to mention the fact that Orange Cassidy kicked out of 2 of his finishers. Like we did not expect that to happen.
Yes. I'll give you that credit. Yeah, we did not expect him to kick out the Oz Cutter or the Hidden Blade.
Twice. And it's just not only
And I
that.
gotta say that technically the Oz Cutter kind of is not his signature right now, actually. And to be perfectly honest, he's using it as a signature to set up like other things.
It used to be his finisher back from like 2016, I think 2018.
Yes, but now
Yeah.
he's using it as kind of like a setup.
Yeah, so yeah, he kicked out his big signature moves like the Oz Cutter and the Hidden Blade, but once he got hit with the Stormbreaker is basically Osprey's Kenny Omega One Winged Angel at this rate.
But yeah.
Sorry to correct you on all
no,
that. I just wanted
cool.
to give the viewers that extra information.
Okay, Excalibur. But not for real. The match was great. And then, like I said, Will Ospreay, Orange Cassidy. I like to see a part 2 if it ever does happen in New Japan where it's less cursed, but definitely a classic. Not his best because it still goes to Pac and Omega. We miss you. But yeah, it's gonna get 8.
Okay. Yeah, man. Good take. So now we move on to my personal match of the night. This is probably going to be a top 10, maybe even the top 5 match of the year. Zack Sabre Jr. versus Claudio. And I would say his last name, but I don't feel like it.
Can do it for you.
Go for it, Bourbon.
Go for it.
Claudio Castellano.
Castellano. Claudio Castellano, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it here, folks, from the expert himself. So, Claudio Castellano debuted here in AEW, and it was against one of the best technical wrestlers on the planet, Zack Sabre Jr. And when you look at the way this match flowed from start to finish, it started iron hot, continued iron hot. It just had a flow that was crisp, smooth, natural. That transition from submission to move, from submission to move with nothing but pure smooth crispness. You all get my point, though. This match is a fucking masterpiece, a technical masterpiece. It is the best technical bout you will see in the year. Maybe there will be one later in the year that tops it. Who the hell knows? But as of right now, in the first half of this year, this is a very impressive bout. Definitely a classic, and I recommend every single a professional wrestling fan of technical wrestlers to go check this piece out. This is a 10 out of 10, and both wrestlers got to put themselves over in this bout. If this gets less than a 10 out of 10, then I just don't know really what to say.
Completely obvious. I'm always one of the biggest fans of Zack Sabre Jr. He just love how great and the best technical. And I was like, oh, it kind of sucks that Danielson was not going to be there. But
Agreed.
I'm like, oh, I hope maybe it's going to be a good wrestler. I thought mainly it was Johnny wrestling, and maybe, but and Claudio was a good unexpected, and I loved him because it makes so much sense why he's in the Combat Club. He fits so perfectly in there like a puzzle piece, and I love that he's there. And this match was just so good. I just loved how fluid these two went back and forth, the European uppercuts to the submission game to Jack Sabre Jr. going into some pretzel submissions. I just loved seeing how good these two was going in. I can't say any more about these. Zack Sabre Jr. and Claudio Castellano was just the best match of the whole entire night. So I definitely gotta give this a 10.
And Irvin, it sucks you couldn't join us live because I knew immediately that this was the perfect match for you. This was so good.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I agree with Chris on that.
You and me, Chris, actually. You and me love for technical.
Dude, this is like Perk Angle peak wrestling. Perk Angle certified fresh.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not Claudio, it's Cesaro, guys. You can't tell me otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But no, seriously, from the moment I thought for a technical match it was gonna be a slow burn, but nah. Claudio just goes in at ham with his uppercut finishers, and he has this cool powerbomb finisher where he kind of like grabs it. Yeah, where he kind of
Yeah,
ties
it's
your arms.
Ricola bomb.
Yeah, there we go.
It's
And
kind of
then
like a nod off to the lozenge, like a Ricola.
oh
That's
no.
a special lozenge.
And they also did the thing, guys. He got the rice to do the fucking spin. He does the Mario 64 spin. But in all reality, this match is great. Just there's nothing much I can say. It's literally perfection from start to finish, and they didn't. Claudio didn't just like destroy this guy, Zack Sabre. In fact, it was pretty equal. So in terms of that was pretty cool. So none of them look weak in particular in their own little wrestling things. But it was great. It's literally perfection. That's all I gotta say, guys.
10 out of 10 indeed,
10 out
right?
of 10.
Yes. Now the show takes a bit of a detour after this. But it's okay, ladies and gentlemen. I feel like we'll agree on this. I feel like we'll disagree on this, actually. Fatal 4-way. IWGP Heavyweight title. Jay White, Adam Page, Adam Cole, and Kushida Okada. Now, this Fatal 4-way had so much promise. I'll say this. It was good until the end. Adam Cole got hurt, and it was circumstances. I get it, but man, this was a potential match of the year. But Adam Cole shouldn't have worked the show if he was hurt, man. I just have to say it. They could have let this be a triple threat between Page, Kushida Okada, and Jay White. But I will give Adam Page his credit for working hurt. I just don't think he should have. It's kind of like the Cody Rhodes thing. I don't think Cody Rhodes should have worked hurt, but whatever. Right? It is what it is, So, with all that being said, like I said, the match was good, but nothing really crazy or outstanding happened throughout the match. In my personal opinion, Adam Page really got to stand out throughout the match, in my personal opinion. But that was really it. Where does everyone go from here? Well, Adam Page clearly takes time to heal up. Jay White and Okada do their thing in Japan for G1 Climax, I assume. Then it leaves Adam Page. So, guys, hear me out on this. I think Adam Page is going to be Jon Moxley's first opponent for the AEW Interim Championship. And I think he's going to be the person that wins or a Rampage match on Friday.
It could be. It could be interesting if they do that.
And why do I say that? Because think about it like this. If Page wins, he could get his revenge on CM Punk for embarrassing him in Las Vegas. Longevity.
Indeed.
That's just something I think. So, and I wouldn't mind seeing it, if I'm being quite honest. But with all this shit being said, it was a pretty good match. It was a pretty decent match. It's just the ending kind of fucked everything up. I'm gonna give this a 6.5 out of 10. It ruined what could have been a 7 or 7.5, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's kind of sucked what happened in this episode that you could see when Adam Cole injured himself. It was completely obvious, and it was just. I expected this match to be one of the best matches of the night for me because I just love seeing Jay White, Adam Cole, both Adams pretty much, and Okada like that. I can't imagine seeing it. It's just so great to see all three of them there. I'm like, oh man, I'm happy to see this match. It was kind of like a letdown, but to me, I'm okay. I loved the match. It was fairly good. All these matches, all the things that happened, and I love that Okada still got the Rainmaker pose, like the zoom out Rainmaker pose, which is one of the most iconic things that Okada does. And I'm just happy, and more or less, I'm actually happy for Jay White still being the champion, the King Switch, and now the world will breathe in Switchblade. So I'm probably going to give this the 7.5 just because I actually just love the match to me. Even if I couldn't give them a higher rating, but I just give a respect to all these guys that they still kind of competed injured and they made a good match out of this predicament that they have in. So 7.5 for me.
And I just want to counter Daniel's argument for the ending. How could you say that, Daniel, about that ending? Do you know why that is the best ending ever?
How is that?
Because our boy on the mic, JR, was saying what everybody was thinking and saying, like, well, that was anticlimactic.
You know, JR kind of calls out AEW a lot on these pay-per-views, I realized. He gets a bit too much of that drank in him.
He's just saying there.
He loses his way.
And he lost his wife like 5 years ago. It's the 5-year anniversary pass, basically. So you know what?
Oh, I didn't know
I don't
that.
blame him for kind of being grumpy around this time of year.
Oh, I was trying to be funny. You made it depressing. God damn it, Daniel. We're having a great time, and you've been talking about real life shit.
I'm sorry. JR is my favorite commentator of all time. I just had to think about that because my memory, right, is that back in April of 2017, JR lost his wife. And then it was very unfortunate, very sad. And I was one of those people who felt for him. And then the month after, Triple H invited him to commentate for Pete Dunne versus Tyler Bate on NXT for the NXT UK Championship during TakeOver Chicago. Excellent match. Excellent match. One day we'll probably watch that pay-per-view.
We will.
I've seen it before. So has Berman. We can both. He can vouch for me.
Yes.
It's a fantastic match. Probably one of the best UK Championship matches to date. But back to the topic at hand.
But overall, the match was it was okay, guys. Because like literally. Oh wait, no. You know what? I just remembered something. Guys, what does Okada like to do and not do it 5 times in a row?
Rainmaker.
No.
DDT?
No.
Rainmaker.
No.
Close on.
Guys,
Tombstone.
please. There we go. He tried to hit the tombstone for the entirety of the match.
And
didn't
he
do
tried
it.
to hit the Rainmaker, and he never hit the Rainmaker either.
He
That sucked
wasn't.
too.
He wasn't doing it. And then honestly, the
That was my
MVP.
criticism for me. I didn't feel like Okada was able to contribute much or as much to this match as I would have liked to seen from Okada. If I'm being quite honest, same with Jay White actually. I feel like the only two that really got to get their shit in was both the Adams.
This is actually an interesting counterpoint that I kind of the commentator did what's it called mention. It was Sam. I think it was Sam. He said that this is the first time that there was a fatal four-way match that ever happened for the IWGP Heavyweight Champion, meaning
That's very
that Jay
interesting.
White and Okada never experienced a multi-man match, and really rare. So I think kind of that's the counterpoint that why these two didn't have a lot of pushback between these two because they never been in these bigger fatal four-way matches. So I kind of give them a defense for that.
That's a very interesting counterpoint, I may say, my friend. Um, but yeah, all that being said, Chris, what would you rate this match?
Um, I'm just gonna give it a 5. I was kind of underwhelmed. I mean, I like Adam Page, quite out, best champion or former champion, but other than that, dude, it was a bit messy. I wanted to see what Okada did. I like his little like costume or whatever, but it was just more funny than anything. And then Adam getting hurt sucks too. So just for that reason, 5 out of 10.
So I would now I'm gonna love talking about this main event, but I'm actually gonna let you two discuss it first, Berman, then Chris, then myself, ladies and gentlemen. What did you guys think about for the AEW Interim Championship and what happened after the match between Jon Moxley and Hiroshi Tanahashi and the hype for Blood and Guts, of course.
Yeah, this was an interesting match. The whole entire match, I love the entrances. The entrances were very good. The match was fairly good. There was not a lot of, it was some blood out of nowhere, but you can actually, if you kind of pay close attention, you can see the blood shape has a blood shape of a boot mark right on the top of Moxie's forehead. You can see a boot mark. And it just makes me laugh. I'm like, man, you can see the imprint of his boot. And of Takahashi's freaking boot, which is funny to me. But I love the match. It was actually pretty freaking good to me. It was kind of like a letdown sometimes. Like it was a weird short match to me, and it was kind of disappointing that it was not longer than what should have been. But it was pretty good to me. All the submissions and the high five flows, the aces high, the bulldog choke. It was great. It was pretty fast for good parts. And I love the paradigm shifts, and it was kind of funny at the end. He called it the Death Rider, and that's his finisher named in New Japan Pro Wrestling. So it's kind of funny. So because technically it's a paradigm shift in AEW, so it's funny. But to me, I like this match. So in general, for the match, I'll give it a 8 for me. But what happened after the match kind of pissed me off. They were having a good moment, saying, "Hey, good job," shaking his hands. Then out of nowhere, asshole Chris Jericho comes in and just attacks them. And like, why, dude? You had a great match, and you ruin it with asshole Chris Jericho, the Wizard, just poops in there and just starts attacking these two. Like, that's just disrespectful, and mainly to Tanahashi. Like, that's just disrespectful. So it got me really pissed off what happened. And don't be wrong, it was not that bad of like how it looked. Like Claudio came in, just made work on everyone. I liked it was not that bad, but it was just so disrespectful between these two competitors. Just like they could have done so much better with that time wise. They could have just done a bigger fight, a bigger match. It kind of pissed me off. So that's my opinion. I still give it an 8 for this match. So Chris, to you.
Damn, unless Daniel's with me, I think I'm gonna be the black sheep. Like I'm not gonna lie, Bervin. Like the match, it wasn't bad, but I'm not gonna lie. I got pretty much bored halfway watching the AEW Championship, and I get it. John Moxley, he's great and all, and then Hiroshi Tanahashi was great, but I just felt like it was like way too slow for my taste. Like half the time, like they were just like getting ready, pumped up, and I get there's like psychology warfare and stuff like that. But honestly, I just wasn't buying it, man. Like I obviously knew that John Moxley wasn't going to win, but it was pretty funny seeing that the audience was actually rooting for Tanahashi because that was surprising. I'm like, oh shit, he might actually have a shot. But other than that, it was kind of like just whatever. I wasn't really feeling this match. I wasn't really impressed by it, and it's definitely going to Claudio as the best one from this pay per view. And as you said before, the whole Chris Jericho invading is kind of disrespectful for both competitors. Like I get it, you're trying to promote blood and guts or whatever, but you could have done it like a little bit better. He just pretty much threw his opponent onto the trash. Like nobody cares. New Japan Forbidden Doors over. Go back to AEW. Good night.
I agree with that, actually. The only reason I would have ever allowed a post match attack is if Johnny Gargano was going to debut here. But, did he?
No.
Nope.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I thought here. Now, again, I have a pretty big ego when it comes to talking about this wrestling shit, but it's because I know exactly what in the flying fuck I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen. I know what's good, and I know what's not. I know it sounds very arrogant for me to say, but trust me, I believe in a lot of what I say. Sometimes I'll be wrong. Every human is. That's just human nature. But I feel very confident in my opinion about Forbidden Door, and I feel confident about the majority of opinions I have expressed on this channel so far. And this, I feel like, will not be very different. This was a very good match with a very weak finish. And, I liked seeing Moxley bleed in this match. It was cool for what it was. Tanahashi got to shine a bit, so did Mox. But it could have been better, obviously. And for a main event for a show like this, I feel like it didn't hold up to that giant standard that it should have. But I thought it was a very good match if you ignore all the stakes and everything behind it and just focus on the bell to bell action, I guess you could say. For Moxley, this was very cool to see, I guess you could say, at the same exact time. So I have to be very honest. I enjoyed this match for what it was. This is not the best match of the show, absolutely. Mox versus Punk is going to be fire. And the matches we're going to get before Mox versus Punk, like, for example, Mox versus Page, possibly. Or, Mox versus Jericho again, maybe. There's a lot of potential, man, and I'm very excited for what AEW could throw for this little from run for
MJF.
Moxley. Here's the thing that I was going to say for MJF, right? That has to be saved for all our personal opinion. So I would do Punk versus Mox at Quake by the Lake if if Punk is healthy enough. Punk is not healthy enough, you do that all out. And then you have MJF Punk 3 at Grand Slams, which is going to be in September, late September, ladies and gentlemen. I thought it was going to be late August. I guess I was wrong. The next AEW special after Blood and Guts is going to be Quake by the Lake, which is going to be the second week of August. So, that being said, that we're building to the next Ring of Honor pay-per-view, Death Before Dishonor, which is going to be July 23rd. Very freaking interesting, yo. So, yeah, with that being said, I'm going to give this match a 7.5 out of 10. So, overall pay-per-view rating, I agree with y'all, actually. I don't think the brawl was very respectful, but it was what it was. I get it, promotional shit. You got to promote your company any way you can. I get it. 7.5 out of 10 for the overall show. I thought it was a very good show. It was the weakest show the AEW has done since Double or Nothing 2021 in terms of pay-per-view events, but it was very good for what it was worth, and I'm glad this event happened in the first place. What would you guys rate this kind of show?
I'll go first. I would probably definitely give it an 8. I do like the show. There was only 2 matches that was not up to standards, I would call it myself, for AEW, and that would probably be the Thunder Rosa and Tony Storm. and the Phantasmo, and Young Bucks, Phantasmo, and the Sting, and Darby Allin and Shingo were the two matches that were kind of not up to standards that much. And so I'm giving it 8. I would say it's probably weaker, but I still loved the versus who's better between New Japan versus the AEW. It would be interesting to see how they go from here. Number 2 from Forbidden Door 2.
But yeah, like you said, guys, if the Forbidden Door 2 does happen, I want it to be less unfortunate because I felt a little cheaped out of like the wrestlers getting injured and shit like that. So maybe we'll get Kenny Omega returning. I don't know. And then as for New Japan, I want to see more matches by them because if anything, I kind of felt maybe outside of the 2 matches, most of the New Japan guys were kind of just there for like background props. Like it's just to showcase AEW. It's like, oh, nobody cares. They're just there.
I can kind of see your point there.
Like it's not that it's bad or anything, and I'm not trying to like go too harsh on it, but like when I was expecting New Japan, I thought they were just gonna like throw them in there, you know what I mean, to show what matches they have in Japan or whatnot. But they were just kind of there as props for the AEW guys to look better than their company, and I'm just like, oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. I get it. I get it. AEW is more popular, so it makes sense.
Poopy. Stinky.
What would you rate this show, man?
Honestly, it's gonna get a 7. It was okay.
So 7, good show. Me 7.5, very good show. Berman, your rating.
8.
Great show from Berman. So yeah, if basically, ladies and gentlemen, you got the usual. I'm the middle of the ground kind of individual. Berman likes it a lot, and Chris hates it a lot.
Oh.
So I've actually looked back. That's usually what Berman's the most positive. You're the most negative, and I'm the most down the middle.
It was funny that I'm the judge.
Yeah, it is funny that you're. Well, actually, it's kind of good that you're a judge then, because you're kind of able to see the positives of both sides of things. You know.
I want to be the executioner. I want to kill everyone for their botches.
So, yeah, fun show, right, guys? For what it was worth.
Yeah.
And
Yes, it was.
the other question is: are you guys excited for Death Before Dishonor and All Out this summer?
I can't wait. I'm hoping that they do some good matches on the Honor. I hope they do some great matches. I'm hoping that Samoa Joe is good, and I'm hoping that he's not going to be injured when he goes into the match.
So before we end this podcast, I made myself a little card, right? For Death Before Dishonor, and this is the card I would go with: 7 matches, 3 hour show, which is what they did last time. It was 7 matches, 3 hours, right? So basically, I'm going with a card that goes along with AEW's weekly storytelling, because here's the thing: ROH doesn't have a weekly story show, so I figure it would make the most sense to align with what's currently going on. Am I right?
Yep.
So this is 7 matches, and I'm going to say all 7 matches, and afterwards you guys can tell me what you guys think about this kind of Death Before Dishonor card, and tell me if Ring of Honor will do better or worse, because I'm sorry, I am just a booking genie in my personal opinion. So, kick off the show, match 1 out of 7. The Ring of Honor Tag Team Championship match. FTR fighting against the best friends, Trent and Chuck. So the story is very simple here. As we've been seeing on weekly television, Trent has been kind of slowly losing his mind. You know, whether it's about losing his best friend, one of his best friends, Wheeler Yuta, to the Blackpool Combat Club, and kind of acting like a dick about it. Or, you know, kind of just teasing heel elements towards FTR or other groups in general. So, due to what happened at the Forbidden Door, he wants a one-on-one or a 2-on-2, I guess you could say, tag team bout against FTR. And Trent is slowly turning heel. You know, he drags his best friend Chuck into the rivalry now that Rocky is gone to Japan for a bit. You know, FTR versus best friends. Are ROH Tag Team Championship match. Then we go to the second match, ROH Pure Championship match. We've seen elements over the past week. Wheeler Yuta versus Daniel Garcia. I think these two would have an excellent Pure Championship match. You know, they're both, when you think about the future of pro wrestling, both these guys are in the conversation. You know what I'm saying? So I think this would be great representation for that Pure Championship. Next, in the match number 3, ROH TV title. Samoa Joe versus Jay Lethal. Lethal's friends are banned from ringside. So this would be a match with no interference, just a good old classic one-on-one bout between Joe and Lethal, two ROH representatives. And, you know, it's just a great bout. Then match 4, ROH Women's Championship match, Mercedes versus Serena. Lately, they've been tag teaming on Dynamite, on Dark, whatever. Serena's going to eventually turn on Mercedes because she's greedy. She wants gold. It's simple. It's just in her heel nature. Then we go to match 5, ladder match for the AEW Tag Team Championships and a ROH Tag Team Championship match against FTR. It is the Young Bucks versus Keith Lee and Swerve Strickland. The Young Bucks win, but afterwards, out of rage and frustration, Swerve turns on Keith Lee, which will lead into a match between Swerve and Keith Lee at All Out. The second to last match, match 6, is a street fight, a one-night-only reunion for Claudio in ROH, where he returns to ROH to fight Eddie Kingston to settle their long-time beef. Claudio wins, but afterwards they finally quit the beef and show each other respect. Then in the main event for the ROH Championship, we got Jonathan Gresham versus Brian Cage. And whoever wins is whoever wins, but I think it's a great match. And that is my ROH Death Before Dishonor card. Any counter arguments you guys have to offer?
Not really for me. I can see every match to be possibilities, and they could do them. There's a few matches that might not be them because maybe they have other ideas. Maybe they're trying to promote more Ring of Honor characters, not than AEW, than in general. So it's a good possibility that some of them might not be in the matches and more trying to promote Ring of Honor originals, maybe. Uh, But so far, to me, the main one is that really Yuta and Daniel Garcia. It's just going to be one of the best technical matches to see them because those two just represent the technical style.
Yeah,
So
Wheeler Yuta and Daniel Garcia is a sleeper hit, in my opinion.
yeah, so that's going to be good. And the Swerve Strickland and Keith Lee stuff, it probably could be there, but there's I would say a hypothesis that I have in my head right now that's probably going to happen at Rampage, the Rampage this week, and that was the Royal Rumble, that the kind of the Royal Rampage thing for the number one contender. That probably either Swerve Strickland is going to dump Keith Lee outside the ring and eliminate him, or Keith Lee is going to eliminate Swerve
So you
Strickland.
see Keith and Swerve actually fighting one-on-one instead of tag team.
Yeah, so it might happen at that point of time during that battle royal.
Very interesting. So
That's my idea.
here's my thought process, though, right? So remember in the last pay-per-view, Supercard of Honor, the Young Bucks interfered after the FTR and Briscoes had a fantastic match, and they stated that ROH is their household, simply put. So I think it would make the most sense if they defended their AEW titles at the pay-per-view. And at that pay-per-view, not only that, we could be able to have the ability to set up their all-out match, because clearly I think the plan is in Tony Khan's head. We got to do Young Bucks and FTR 3 at All Out. I don't really see another match possibly happening at that pay-per-view, if I'm being quite honest, for either team. So the question is really here, what other team besides Keith Lee and Swerve could we actually set up for the Young Bucks on this pay-per-view? Because I have the best friends going after FTR. What would be some good originals in your head, Berman?
Man, it's hard. Thinking between some people, they could do. Well, no, they could do Briscoes, but I don't know. It's a possibility if they would do that ever.
That was the exact team I had in my head, but you know how Warner Bros. Are right now. They want them banned, basically, which sucks.
Yeah. So I thought them because they could do something with those two. I can't remember a lot of them from the Ring of Honor days that I can think of in my head right now. But if anyone could do it, maybe the Lucha Brothers
Young Bucks and Lucha Brothers. What would
again.
it be? 5? It would be 5 in
Yeah,
AEW or
they
Ring of
could
Honor.
do it. They're not doing anything really in their matches right now.
And their record against each other currently stands at 2-2.
So they
So
could do that for like a rubber match, more or less.
yeah, they could do a rubber match, and Young Bucks could win, making them look very strong heading into the FTR match
Yeah,
at All Out. Because
and
again, I think we should use this as a stepping stone for FTR Young Bucks 3, because I think that is the biggest tag team match AEW can pull off in this year. Because here's the thing, I see All Out as the biggest show of the year. That's what Tony Khan even claimed on the media, earlier this week. So I figure MJF Punk 3 in that match, ending 2 trilogies at once for the biggest show of the year makes the most sense, in my personal opinion. Would you agree?
I think so. It makes somewhat sense, and I can understand that. So I'd probably say that the card should be perfectly fine. I don't think they might just change some stuff for some Ring of Honor originals instead of one of those matches. But I think so far the match card looks good if they actually do it that way. So I have nothing to say. I don't think Chris can say that much about Ring of Honor in general. I would say, but Chris, do you want to say anything?
Honestly, there's not much I can really add to these predictions. Like Daniel has a pretty good pick, and he's pretty spot on when it comes to the wrestling predictions. So, if it does happen, the next Ring of Honor, I'm excited. But there's one match that needs to happen, guys. And do you know what that match is, guys? Guys, I need you to take a guess on what the biggest match of Ring of Honor has right now that they're sitting on.
In
But
my opinion, or Burns.
Both.
I'm gonna pick first. I think Ninja. What did it say? Ninja Mask versus Fuego.
He got it. He got he is that ninja. All right. And I need to end this debate once and for all. Who's the better jobber? Ninja Mac or Fuego?
It's Fuego.
It is Ninja Mac. All right,
Listen,
that's all I have to add
I
to the Ring of
appreciate
Honor.
you have the ability to give me. I really do, man. But for the love of God, you're gonna give me a heart attack if you keep on going.
No, I need to see that match.
Listen, man.
Could
I
just a
need,
big
to,
buy-in type of thing.
I need to see it too. But Fuego gonna beat his ass in less than 5 minutes. I hope you know it.
No.
Like it's game over, son. Listen, we're kind of rambling a little bit. We
Yes,
finished
sir.
the review like 15 minutes ago, but we'll keep this all in the podcast because it's all good.
It's all good.
Yeah, it's been a fun podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Glad to return. I've been a little buzzed off of I think 6 Smirnoffs and a soju, so it's been fun, y'all.
I thought you were gonna say friendship.
Yeah, I've been buzzed off of friendship too.
Yeah.
That makes a fuck ton of sense, Chris. So thank you all for listening to this podcast. I've been Daniel,
I've been Berman.
Let me Chris.
and we'll see you all in the next episode. Take it easy, ladies and gentlemen.